Welcome to Across Utah 2016. It's a cold May 1st and I'm getting ready to set out on an 8 or 9 day hike around the Burt Trail in the Upper Escalante area. Let's go. It's like I'm picking up right where I left off last year. Cold, rainy weather. Okay, hopefully it'll get better. There are a couple of pools ahead in the slot here, so I'm going to see if I can find a high route up and above so I can stay dry. We'll see. The canyon opens back up, but unfortunately to get down I have to walk along this ledge, and day one I don't have my slick rock legs yet, so I'm going to back away. There's just a little too much exposure here. So I think I can get down back where I crossed the canyon and get on that other side. Looks like an easy way down over there. Bighorn Canyon. It's a tough squeeze through here. It's tight. I can barely get through here with the pack. Oh, yeah. Ah. Oh, yes. Ah, that's a lot of work. Okay. Keep going. Ah. In the West Fork of Bighorn Canyon. It's a good little slot. Smoky Marble Madness! Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. Oh my goodness. The water is very, very cold. Oh, my feet are cold. My legs are cold. Whew. Zebra Canyon. It's worth it, I guess. At least this part is dry. Nice canyon. Oh, at least the sun is out now. Oh, this is crazy. Oh. Okay, I gotta keep going. Must have been one heck of a flood to cause all that. Would not have wanted to have been here at that time. Would have scared the cows. Just fell into some quicksand by accident. It was not fun. Just walking along right down through there, and all of a sudden My pole was all the way up to the top, and then the next thing I know, my legs are just going in. The quicksand almost got me. Quicksand seems worse than normal this year. Take a look how bad it can be. A little bit scary, but for the most part, you can usually just power through. Just kind of distribute your weight out and get through it. Quicksand's not going to suck you under. It's just going to drop you down to your knees, maybe even your waist. So if you're not paying attention, your gear can get wet. For instance, I got lost some on my maps because I wasn't ready and went down to over my knees in the quicksand. So, hope I can find my way without my maps. Let's go. Cruising down Harris Wash, listening to the birds. Yeah. Cottonwood floaties fill the air under this very cool overhang. Literally under the overhang. It really does look like it's snowing out here. Okay, just a little bit farther to the Escalante. We've made it all the way down the Harris Wash. Yay! Now we just need to go downriver about 4 miles. Now we're cruising. This is the closest thing to a trail we've seen in days. Go a lot faster now. It's a new problem I've never had before. A bunch of bees have taken a liking to my shoes. Okay, Operation Retrieve the Boots from the Bees commence. Whoa. All right, it was a success. Picked them up with my trekking poles and threw them down here into the shade, and the bees seem to have lost interest in the shade. So time to strap them on and get to moving. It's day 4. Had a nice camp last night in the lower end of Chop Rock Canyon, well, except for the bee infestation this morning. It was a slow day yesterday making my way down the Escalante. Crossing the river is not hard, but all the brush around the river just makes for a slow go. But now we're headed up Chop Rock. But before we do that, we're going to check out the petroglyphs. Let's go check them out. There's a lot of glyphs through here. Got the hunter right there. Probably the best part of the panel right here. Looks like he's a shaman. I'm guessing these mean bear prints. Looks like someone maybe used this guy as a target practice. I believe that's what these round notches are. Cowboy glyphs as well, dating back to 1919. It's a pretty good panel. It goes for a long ways up this rock face. It's up on a bench, kind of hidden from view. It's in the lower end of Chop Rock, about less than a quarter mile from the Escalante, on a big wall facing south. Almost all petroglyph panels face south. Okay, time to get up the canyon. I've reached the end of the line in South Fork of Chop Rock Canyon. This is the dry fall that marks the end of the technical route. Chop Rock is a slow canyon to hike just because it's so beautiful. I end up taking so many pictures. We're getting close to the Narrows. Let's go. Okay, we've entered the Narrows. May have to get a little wet here. Had to get wet. Not that bad. Oh, may have to get wetter up there. Told Told you, it's a good looking canyon. Looks like I have escaped the Narrows. I was wrong. The Narrows keep going. Going and going. I'm not much of a lunch eater when I'm hiking, but whenever there's a lot of water and I'm in a nice place, sometimes I treat myself to a little blueberry granola. Good stuff. Especially in a place like this. One of my favorite spots in Chop Rock Canyon. And an awesome undercut in what Steve Allen calls the poison ivy fork of Chop Rock. Of all the weird things to find out in the middle of nowhere, I found part of a Hustler magazine from 1991. The question is, do I pack it out as trash or do I leave it as an artifact? I'm not sure. Gotta go under this big boulder to avoid all the poison ivy. Oh, not too bad. A little wet again. Okay, almost out of it. Awesome petrified wood out here. This looks like the same piece I spotted 10 years ago. Have to check those pictures to make sure. Good chunks all around. Yeah, I'm pretty positive that's the same piece. Just look at this big big log right there. That's a keeper. That one there's huge as well. It'll work. How's that? Whoa! Yay! That's what I did 10 years ago. Thought I'd recreate the shot. Day 5, let's go. Need to head up that way to Horse Pasture Mesa where I know there's a water source. And then I'm gonna go around the mesa to the east and over towards Deer Point, which is that high plateau you can see in the distance. Looking back at the route I used to get off the high cliffs, there's a weakness at the very top and then it's just an easy scramble down. Now on towards the mesa. Before setting out, I read a lot of reports about some rancher water sources being dry this year in southern Utah. So I was very happy when I got here to Horse Pasture Mesa and the water is overflowing. So now I can drink up and I should have plenty of water to get me through the next leg of the hike. I'm at the old prospecting site. Now we need to go that way. I'm headed for that prominent point out straight ahead on the horizon. I need to get to the north side of that, to the left side of it. No trail from here. I'm just gonna have to find my way. Getting closer. Rounding my point on the left as planned. Almost every hike I find one of these out in the middle of nowhere. So, whoever you are, happy birthday. Just came across a big elk, scared it. Probably scared me more than it scared it. We'll see if we see it again, I don't know. Took off pretty fast. So no sign of the elk, but the views are pretty amazing. Check it out. So now I'm looking down to the south, looking back down to Chop Rock Canyon, that's where I came from. Farther down to the Moody Canyons. See the straight cliffs in the background there, 50 Mile Mountain. Way in the distance is Navajo Mountain, you can barely see in silhouette. And then back over to the left is Deer Point itself. Good stuff. The ground here is just littered in petrified wood. All kinds of it everywhere. There's even a whole log of petrified wood. Look at that. Looking out to the Henry Mountains. Looks like a storm's coming in. Just got the bejesus scared out of me by the snake. I So close to it. I thought for sure it was a rattler, but it's not. Great Basin gopher snake. Nothing to be really afraid of. Still don't want to step on him though. Okay, he's leaving. And for the record, I'm not really that close. Bye, snaker. Take care of yourself. All right, looking down on the Water Pocket Fold and over to the Henry Mountains. I need to follow the high ridge a little bit farther north before I drop down in. Mount Ellen's got quite a bit of snow on it. Okay, this is it. We're dropping down into the gullies, trying to get down to the lower end of Lower Muley Twist. Let's go down. Not sure which is the best way to go, but I'm gonna find out. I've done it one other time coming in from the north, but I'm coming in from farther south this time. First cliff band wasn't too hard. One spot I had to take the pack off just to lower it down. Now from here, it's just some steep scree walking all the way down to give me that next level. That's the way I came down right there. May not have been the best, but in hindsight, the hill farther south looks easier. I have a bad feeling about that canyon taking shape down below me. We'll see. This is a tough way getting down, but man, that view is awesome. I'm assuming this canyon's not gonna go through. I think it's gonna slot up, but I think I can climb this cliff over here and get to the top of that ridge and then take that fin all the way down. The only good news is that I can hear the frogs going, which means there's water down there. So it means I could camp anywhere here if I had to. In fact, I even see water right there. All right, good shape. I finally made it down to the canyon floor, and it was a lot of work getting down here, so I'm pretty beat. I think I'm actually gonna call it quits here and camp. There's actually a safe place to camp right up there in the trees. I still can't tell what's ahead of me, but with an early camp, I'm gonna do some scouting without the pack and see what I can see. That way I can hit it first thing in the morning. Signing out, day 5. Crazy frogs. After scouting last night, I determined going down the canyon wasn't feasible, so I'm back up on the high, steep slopes, trying to make my way down to Lower Muley Twist. Hope this route goes through, because if not, it's going to be a lot of work to get back up and around to another route that I know will work. So, here we go. Well, this sucks. Just took a tumble going down this loose scree, and my pole bit in and then bent. Yeah, all right. Well, that's as good as she's gonna get. I just hope it still has the strength. I have to be careful with it. Okay, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but I'm starting to feel a little more optimistic. Looks like this ridge line runs all the way down to where it gets flat, where I should be able to get down. Yay! I'm down on the canyon floor, and I've reconnected with my route from 6 years ago. So from here on out, I know the route's okay and won't be that hard. Let's go. A little more scrambling over some big boulders than I remember, but we're pretty close now. I think it's actually a massive arch up there. You can see some daylight coming through. I'd like to climb up that bench and get a picture with blue sky underneath the arch, but just don't have the time. There's actually no blue sky up there anyway, it's just clouds, so that's my excuse. Oh yeah, it's an arch. Found a better view downstream. Yay, we are down in Lower Muley Twist. Now we just have to go up lower to get to Upper Muley Twist. Let's go. It's hard to grasp how big this undercut is. It is huge. Huge. It's granola time in the old cowboy camp. Pretty good place for a treat. And it's starting to rain. Took a little cover. It's not very bad now, but actually the forecast is for a really big storm tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. To get past this rock fall, you have to go under these boulders or climb above them. So I chose under. Already did it with the big backpack. Once was enough. Let's go. Another huge undercut. Another great undercut in Lower Muley Twist. Sun is going down in Capitol Reef. And oh hey, it's Mr. Shadow. Hey Mr. Shadow, how you doing? I've reached the Bird Trail Road, but that's not the end this time. In fact, it's only about the halfway point. So now I'm making a loop around the Bird Trail all the way back to my Jeep. Don't know if you can see it, but there's a morning rainbow out there. In the slot in the upper end of Upper Muley Twist. Notice that the big log that was there a few years ago is gone. But there is one boulder to climb down. Do this and we'll be out. Well, the rain finally started coming down with some force. It's not that bad, but could be getting wet for the rest of the day. Right now it's a good place to be under Cap Arch. It's acting as my cap and keeping me dry. There it is up there. Okay, it's not raining that hard, so I think I'm gonna move out and hike in the rain. What I've done as a precaution though is I've taken my rain fly, wrapped it around my pack, keep my gear dry in case it starts raining hard again. Okay, time to get up the little secret exit out of Upper Muley Twist. It's not really a secret, it's just not published anywhere. Okay, let's go. Thought my easy progress was stopped by this big boulder jam, but luckily there's a way underneath and out to the top. All right, that's the way we'll go. Looking back, the Henry Mountains are covered in clouds. Okay, just a little bit more and we'll be at the top. Okay, a little bit more, a little bit more. There we go. Finally see out to the west. Looking out towards the Circle Cliffs and Boulder Mountain covered in snow or rain. That's the way we're headed. Got some coyotes. I don't think they like me being here. Cruising along, following the Circle Cliffs. It's a cold day in May. Got a long ways to go to get over to the gulch. Let's go. It's raining. Trying to make my way around the Circle Cliffs and it's slowing me down. Alright, it's day 8. Had a good camp here in the middle of the Circle Cliffs. Today we need to get over to the gulch to push it into the final stretch back to the Jeep. Should be another day, maybe 2. Getting closer. Circle Cliffs, I'm coming for you. I made my way to the Bird Trail. As much as I hate to do it, I'm walking along the road. Sometimes sacrifices have to be made and I need to make up some time. So, as opposed to my planned route through the Upper Gulch, this will save me at least a half a day. And at least it's a beautiful road. You know, if I have to walk a road, this is one of the best around. So, let's do it. Hey, made it to the top. Now time to go down Long Canyon. All right, off the paved road, entering the gulch. The first part's not one of my favorite hikes, but it's fairly fast. It's gonna get me where I need to be. I'd rather be up on the high route, but it's a little slower. Take some route finding, so this will work for today. Hopefully I won't have to battle any cows. Descending into a windy sand holler, as they call it. I'm aiming for that notch up in between the 2 peaks. The tanks here are huge, huge. Okay, we're getting close to Boulder Creek. Boulder Creek Narrows. Definitely not going through there today. Too late and definitely too cold. Cooking dinner. Hey, Snaker. Day 9. Final day. Let's take it home. Well, I've been stung by another one of these shortcut routes. There's supposed to be a way to bypass a lot of the river, and there doesn't seem to be. It's cliffed out. I've looked all along the ledges here, and there's just no way down. It's crazy steep. I have to go all the way back and around. Time to get back in the water. Whew, wish I could show you what I just did. I had to go through this pretty swift current, cold, up to the belly with the pack up over the head. Too hard to do twice. I'm not going to recreate that one. Sorry, folks. So right up there is where I was exactly 2 hours ago. It took me that long to go back and then all the way down around the creek. I'll have to look into where I noted that shortcut from, whether it was Kelsey or Allen, possibly even at the topo maps at the visitor center. Somebody's wrong though, because there's no route up there. You're walled in the whole way. Still moving down the creek. Tree is just a buzzing. Yay! We finally made it to the Escalante. I think I read somewhere that Boulder Creek doubles the size of the Escalante. Looks about right. It's Escalante on the left, Boulder Creek on the right. From here, Escalante definitely gets bigger. Okay, we've left the Escalante behind and we're headed up Phipps Canyon on the final stretch home. Still making my way up Phipps Canyon. I think we have an eagle fighting with some swallows. He was on a perch up there. Yeah. Climbing my way out of Phipps Canyon. Still need to get up to the rim and find the Jeep. We're getting close. Sun has gone down on day 9. I'm still climbing up the slick rock. Incredible sight looking back. That's where I came from. It might be dark, but that's the Jeep. I can see it. Trust me. There's the moon. There's my Jeep. The loop is complete. Hey, I'm back. As you saw, I finished my hike last night after dark. So I thought I'd come out here to an iconic spot on the Burt Trail to do a little hike wrap-up. It was a good trip. It was 9 days, about 150 miles. And I say it was a good hike despite it being kind of miserable. The weather was chilly and rainy. And if you follow my videos, you know I prefer warm and hot any day over cold and wet. But despite that, my body kind of failed me a bit. I had more blisters than normal, my knee started giving me problems, and it made it really hard to push for those 20+ mile days that I needed to do. So one of the reasons I didn't do an extended through hike this season was 2 months ago I suffered a severe ankle sprain. And because of that, I've been taking it easy, trying to rest up and let it heal fully before setting out on this hike. And the truth is, I think that actually did me more harm than good. The ankle actually held up pretty well, but my lack of conditioning and just being physically prepared for this trip really dragged me down. There's that saying that you don't stop hiking because you get old, you actually get old because you stop hiking. And I think this trip proved that to me. The last 2 months of just doing nothing, I think really slowed me down on this hike. So the moral of the story for me is I'm gonna keep hiking. I'm gonna get out there and keep my body active and keep doing it. So I'm gonna stay active and keep making videos about hiking across Utah. So look for more extended through hikes coming soon. As always, thanks a lot for following along, and see you next time. I'm at the feature known as Hamburger Rocks.